last night and on the season, I think we've seen the receiving core was wildly overrated. Part of that's on the media because so many of us in the media just repeated what the coaches have said. Oh, this is our best receiving room we've ever had. Well, no, it isn't. There's not a Hyatt on there. There's not a Tillman out there, much less both in one receiving room. So this receiving room is nowhere even close to that. And then we've also seen, and we worried about this to start the season, this offensive line is average. It's average at best. And you called it early on as a former offensive lineman. We all laughed that, oh, he's just mean to the offensive line. Nope, you saw it. Here's my question, though. Heupel inherited Jalen Hyatt, inherited Cedric Tillman, inherited Darnell Wright, inherited Cooper Mays. Can anyone name a special receiver or offensive lineman that this staff has signed?
I think you got your answer.
All right, so the question is, where's your confidence level in them being able to identify and sign top flight? It's been 4 years. Just identify and sign top flight receivers and O-linemen.
You know what I would say? I think a guy that I lean towards is like Mike Matthews. I kind of want to see what his progression looks like next, and I know that
I'd like to see him too. It'd be something.
But the guy's he's got the length, he's got the speed, he's got the ability. I've seen that guy in practice. I'm hoping and praying that he's one of those guys next year that takes off.
He just can't get on the field this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. I mean, right?
He played 27 snaps against Mississippi State or against Kentucky. One of the two last games he played like 20-something snaps and had one target, which if he's out there and he's getting open, wouldn't he get more than one target?
I don't know. I mean, you got to develop trust with your quarterback. I mean, I think overall, I have more confidence in a receiver because of one reason. It's usually easier to get a tape of a wide receiver and go, hey, how fast does he run? I see him catch. I've got a better chance of getting that right. Offensive line, I have zero confidence at this point with this staff being able to go out and go, that guy can play offensive line really well, and we're going to be able to select him and put him in and get him ramped up, transfer portal or whatever. I don't think I've seen an offensive lineman that I would say, hey, yeah, that's an all-SEC type of player. I don't have a lot of trust in that.
Go back to the beginning of the season. Now, I have seen the offensive line improve a little bit, especially your tackles. They've gotten better, but they've gotten better because they've changed the way that they set, right?
You've rolled the pocket more, too, and that's
you're
helped
moving
as
the
well.
pocket a little bit, but I think the way that you're setting is they're almost like a run-pass set, which slows that initial rush down, which you can't do that. You really can't do that long-term. So if I look at what the offensive line development has done, it's not there. And so you think about, okay, Cooper Mays is really, really good. Who's behind him? And so then you start thinking about development from there. I'm worried about that interior. And then you go to the transfer portal and you pick these guys up from other schools and you're paying them good money and they're not being developed. So I as an offensive lineman, I worry because we talked to some of my other teammates. You see like those guys were never gone on the field when we were playing. And I hate to say that, just like, oh, I'm so good. But they wouldn't just because of the way that they move and they sit and the things they're doing. Like, man, you would get abused in a meeting room if you played that way.
Bob?
I'm going to go with the transfer portal has a part to do with the offensive lineman because I think a lot of linemen used to come and say, you're going to redshirt your freshman year, you're going to play some your sophomore year, and then you're going to play, or your redshirt freshman year, and then you're going to play. Nobody wants to sit and be developed anymore. I mean, look at the center over at Arkansas. He was a kid that couldn't get on the field here at Tennessee.
Look at Lance Hurd. He didn't want to sit at LSU.
Yes. And so I think that might be hurting your offensive line development a little bit. But it's the wide receiver thing that bothers me even more, that you haven't even lucked in to a wide receiver that you go, holy cow, he was a 3-star, but look at him. Whereas you look at other positions, and you have recruited really well. I mean, look at
That's what I was about to say.
Boo Carter. I think he's got a chance to be who knows what as his career goes on here at Tennessee, but you haven't identified anybody like that other than quarterbacks and running backs.
You had a bad night last night, but this secondary has been far better than I anticipated this year. So you could make a case they found people at every other position. Quarterbacks, they're lining those guys up left and right. Running backs, they keep getting good ones in there. But receiver and offensive line, I don't know.
One of the things I will say is when Darnell Wright first came on the scene, I'll probably even say second year, I've sat in a meeting room and watched that guy get abused just because of his play. It was not up to par. That cat developed into what he was.
Yeah.
because this staff came in and kind of put something else in them and made them.
Right.
So
But
we can.
that's developing.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
developing.
I want to see,
Right. Can we go get one?
because
Yeah.
next year, you're going to have to hit the portal to rebuild your
Yeah.
offensive line for next year, probably.
Yeah.
I don't have any faith
Yeah.
that they can spot, based off what I've seen them get out of the portal so far. Is Carrick, wow, is he going to be in the NFL? John Campbell
Well,
going to be heading to the NFL?
we even
Lance Hurd's, he's young, so he may develop. Gerald Mincey, was he a great get? They then said, no, you can go to Kentucky, go.
Listen,
So I just don't know.
Whoever's looking at the video of offensive line and saying that's the guy we got to go get, I think you need to hide the video from them because they used to have to. They used to do that. A couple coaches at Tennessee back in the day, they would not let them watch certain players because they'd get excited about a player and would offer him a scholarship. So they would wait until everybody else had judged it and then give that guy go, which one do you want to choose from? So there
Name
are
names.
guys.
Name names.
There are guys that don't know how to pick talent. And so I think what you have to do is say,
Hide the
hey,
tape.
that guy's not the guy to do that. We need to get somebody else to do the first level.
Here we go. Let's get it. Name names. Name names. All right. Very good. When we come back, I'll never turn that light off. All right. When we come back, let's talk about the playoff path for Tennessee. Is there one, and what is it if there is one? Come on back.